But Devin Lloyd, man, this dude, inside linebacker, he could be a edge rusher if he wanted to. 6'3", 235. But honestly, man, he's that guy. To me, when I look at him, 3 guys I think of, you named them, J.O.K., Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I think of Micah Parsons, and I think of Ryan Shazier. And why do I think of those 3 guys? Crazy athletic ability, crazy playmaking ability, and speed. And the reason I throw Micah Parsons in there is because Micah is also an elite rusher, a specialist, 13 sacks in how many games as a outside guy, a DN type. Devin Lloyd has that type of potential to me. When I watch him, he cooks running backs in terms of a blitzer. That's why I didn't even label him as a blitzer. I said inside linebacker or pass rush specialist because he goes out and cooks left tackles. That's what I was watching one time. I said, oh, you're different. I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be a running back. You go get, it's a tighty you're going to get. No, you watch him on tape. He's getting after them tackles. That to me is game changing. When you have that type of potential, I personally think he could excel as a man-to-man cover guy.
Oh yeah.
If they wanted to utilize him like that.
How about this stat right here? Limiting receivers to a QB rating of 55.3 when covering. And he also had multiple pick sixes. I think he was the only linebacker in college football last year with multiple pick sixes.
Yeah. And when
he was originally a safety. Yeah. Originally recruited as a safety, right?
Yeah, he was like crazy athlete coming out of high school. I think he played safety, wide receiver. He was a punter as well. It was like crazy, man. But you watch him and he
punter.
Bro, I know, right? I was like, hey, wait a minute. But he's a legit freakazoid, man. I think he plays crazy fast. I also think that he shows elite range in the tackle box. There's guys that are fast, silent, but they don't want to be fast in that tackle box. They're not trying to shuffle, get downhill, shoot gaps and stuff like that. Devin is with all that. That's the part that reminds me of Shazier. When I see some of his backdoor stuff, some of his foot fake, beat a guy over top, I'm like, bro, this is Shay. Dog, this reminds me of Shay. But then he's also, he not afraid to put that head down and hat in hand somebody and let them know like he's with that as well. He's the complete package though. Also think that he, like I said, in open field, you really see the athleticism on display with some of his open field tackling and just some of the, just watching how he moves. You watch him when he moves, he's very fluid. His hips are smooth. He changes direction extremely well. And he has a nose for the ball. I think that he's another one of those guys like Nakobe Dean, like Channing Tindall, that when that ball is out there on that field, they end in the frame every single time. The play stops, they popping up. They're just trying to get to that ball every time. Now, in terms of what I would improve upon him, it would probably be just the man-to-man coverage, just because we haven't seen a ton of that, because like I said, they put him out there, let him rush off that edge. They will blitz him. Like, he's one of those guys. Like, if it's
dude, he's picking balls off of the line of scrimmage.
Seriously, yeah. Like, and that's the TJ Watt part right there, where you're just
imagine him opposite of TJ Watt.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy when you watch.
But then the next play is the middle linebacker for us.
Yeah, and getting a TFL, or he's running up the seam covering a guy. Like, he is that type of position flexibility. He understands, his leverage. But the things that I would also say that I want him to improve upon: trusting his speed. Number one, in the sense of when you're in man-to-man coverage, because I have seen this a couple of times watching some of the games, not necessarily highlights, but the games. He won't trust his speed in the sense of you're not going to get ran by, so you don't have to beat that guy. At the NFL level, sometimes when you're in coverage, you always think, like, I got to beat this guy to the spot like it's basketball. In football, if you beat that guy to the spot, what do you think that receiver and quarterback going to do? It's going to stop, back shoulder, they're going to stop, come back the other direction. Like, we see it all the time, whether, it's a running back going to the flat and you get this guy hauling tail and he puts it in the ground, just comes back. Like, just understanding you have time, understanding you're fast enough that nobody's going to just run by you. Like, speed for him is not an issue. Like, it's certain guys, like we'll talk about, it's like, yo, you might be a little bit worried about their speed. With him, that's not the case at all. But I also think that he needs to understand his leverage. And I think that'll help with that. Just really just honing in and focusing in on that. Because when I think of him, I think of how it was with Shay early on in his career, Shazier. And those are some of the things that he had to really understand. Don't always go 4-3. Don't always beat a guy to the spot. And it takes time, because it's almost like reverse engineering what you've always been taught as an athlete. Oh, I gotta be first. The NFL level is it's different in terms of how you feel those guys out, and just ball placement too, man. Like, I don't want you on this guy's shoulder when I know this ball is coming here and I need you to be able to play across from him. I need you to be able to tackle this. I need you to be able to jump in front of it to break that, to get that pick. Those are some of the things, like I said, like the more I watch him, it's like, that's little. That's nitpicking, but that's where he can be improvement upon.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be a great pick. I don't know if he's going to last the 20, though, because as we see, top 10 in the mock drafts now.
He's a move-up guy. He's definitely a move-up guy. I would want to improve his tackling mechanics, too. I think of the three that we named, Channing Tindall, Nakobe Dean, and Devin.
Good thing is, though, with his size, even though he has a little bit more slender frame, definitely willing to tackle. Definitely willing to get in the mix.
Like, let me clarify that. He's not turning down any contact. No. You're not worried about him being late to the party or being scared. He's the opposite. He gonna shoot his gun. Problem is, his aim is a little off, or the mechanics in terms of always wrapping up. Remember we talked about with Nakobe. I was like, with Nakobe, he's always fundamentally sound. He's always wrapping up, head across the bow. With Devin, at times, not as fundamentally sound in the tackling, but because he's triggering and he's forcing the action, he makes the ball carrier stop their feet, which ultimately allows the cavalry to come and make the play anyway. So, like I said, it's not terrible, but that's something that you could critique and clean up with him. But if you got a defense that's playing as hungry as they should be and running to the ball, I'll never tell a guy, yo, man, hey, chill out on that, man. If you're not going to make the tackle perfect, don't go for the tackle. Nah, keep shooting your gun, because I'd rather, in the words of Coach Tomlin, say, whoa, than sick him. I would much rather tell you got to dial it back than me have to encourage you to be physical, encourage you to want to shoot your gun. And with Devin, man, you never really have to worry about that with him.
Dude, I love some of those picks that you see in the highlights. Those ones crazy, at the line of scrimmage. His reaction time to that. Like, I don't want to say ball hawk, but I don't like his ball skills, around the ball, even like the tip passes.
Ball. It's very similar to guys like TJ Watt, guys like Terrell Suggs, guys who, even Von Miller to an extent, or JJ Watt, he's another prime example, that they just understand, like, hey, every rush you're not going to win. Every rush you don't always want to rush because the timing of it. And if you can feel that this is quick game, if you can feel that this is 3-step, now passes, man, you can take that step, that jab step at the tackle to get him to kick back up, and now you can see. And if you're athletic enough, you can jump, go catch that thing, hit it, whatever. Devin does that a lot. Like you said, that's some of the first things that jump off on tape with him. You're like, okay.
But then he can actually rush too.
Yeah.
Oh, he could just straight up cover guys though and lock them up. And he's physical.
Yeah, man.
Could play linebacker. That's what I want on the squad right now. I don't think it's possible.
It's going to be interesting. Like I said, we would definitely have to move up for that.
It's like Michael Parsons last year.
Yeah, we would have to move up for that one, man. Definitely would. But you heard me. That's why I had to take a second. I was like, yo, that dude, he's special, man. I like him a lot. And it's funny, man, because now, granted, Chad Muma, he's not on our list today because we talked about him before. But when I think of Chad versus these guys in terms of how he stacks up, my only question with Chad is he fast enough like how these guys are? Because when we cut the tape on and you watch Devin, you watch Channing, you watch Nakobe, they have a gear that they play with. Whereas at times when I'm watching Chad just play in and play out, he's getting to the ball and his fundamentals and his angles, everything is great like we always talked about. But it's not, I don't feel like he's as fast as these other guys. And that is part of the reason why I think that, man, if it works out where these guys we've named aren't available, you could still get a Chad in that second round potentially, you know what I mean, or in that third, like that time frame, and still get a really good guy who can come in here and help you out in a major way. It's just those guys we talked about, they just, like, the way that they're able to pop off that screen, that speed is just nuts to watch at times, man. But all these guys are productive players. All these guys have things that excite you about them.